Hi everyone. I would like to just take some time to share my testimony about how I encountered the love of the Father. A bit of background about me. I was an adopted child from China. I was given up for adoption because my parents could not take care of me as they were poor. As such, I often grew up with a sense of abandonment, that I'm always alone and have to fend for myself. No one will and can help me, and I must do everything by myself. When growing up, God drew me towards Him. My mom, the person that took me in, instilled in me godly values and how important it is to live a life that pleases God. And I became very good at it. I was living the godly life because I wanted to please God. I may not be the perfect Christian, but I want to be the best Christian that I can. So I was serving in various ministries, in church, in Campus Crusade throughout my time in poly, army, and uni. Unknowingly, in my desire to please God, I became very religious and very proud of who I am. Serving God is like a badge I carry to tell people, look at my accomplishments and what I did for God. My life changed when God began to reveal the heart of the Father to me. I read a book called Sonship by James Jordan, founder of Father Heart Ministries. As I read the book, I was unknowingly on a checklist mode, ticking off what I have done right and well because of my religious zeal. The checklist was going well until the author touched on the subject of the orphan spirit. I was stumped. I was like, no, this is not possible, and in full denial. In the book, the author talked about how God created our natural father and mother to reflect His love. So essentially, how we see our Father is how we see our Heavenly Father. Through the book, God posed this question to me: whose son are you? I felt it was like a huge sledgehammer hammering straight into my heart. Whose son are you? I realized that I could not answer the question. I wrestled with that question and tried all sorts of ways to rationalize it away. Although I can't see myself as my natural or adoptive father's son because of my trauma, surely I am God's son, right? He said so in His word, didn't He? Of course, I don't have to answer this. I've already served God so well. I am godly by definition. Of course, I am His son. Of course, I am a son, right? Right. Well, that was the tug of war then that went on in my heart for the rest of the week. That weekend during church service, divinely, a guest speaker came and the sermon was about the orphan spirit. Naturally, I was still rationalizing about this and trying to come up with all sorts of ways to prove my self-sufficiency. At the end of the message, he told us to find a partner and bless one another. So my then girlfriend, now wife, was beside me, and when I prayed, I said, Elizabeth, I bless you. And I just broke down crying after that. I cried and cried like a baby, finally coming to terms with the fact that I am an orphan. What right have I to bless others when I myself needed that blessing? And that was the beginning of my healing journey. I went for various inner healing ministries, and God began to show me what kind of a father He really is. You know, all my life I've always tried to serve Him, to be the best son I thought I can be, to be who I thought He wants me to be, when in actual fact, God was just simply after my heart, and He wants to pour out His love on me. Just like how a father desires to lavish good things to their kids, not because he or she deserves it, but simply because He delights in doing so. And the eyes of my heart slowly but surely began to open. I realized that I do not have to do anything for God in order for Him to love me. What can I give that is already not His? I learned that He loves me simply because of who I am, a son. And as a son, I have full access into His heart to know Him in an intimate way. I do not have to try to be a good son in order to earn His love because I already have His love. This revelation then freed me up to love Him even more, instead of always trying to perform to earn His love. I realized that everything that I do for God must be from an overflow of His love and an intimate relationship with Him. Otherwise, it is as good as nothing, even if it sounds very spiritual. I realized that what I've been learning in my 20 over years of life at that point was nothing but rubbish compared to knowing Him as my Father. He revealed that He will take care of me and that He will always be with me. He is my provider and my healer. While I used to strive to enter His rest, now I know I can simply be at rest because I know He accepts me for who I am. This is my story of how God delivered my identity as an orphan to His Son. And I know that this is just the beginning of my walk to love and know Him in a much deeper way. And I would like to be honest with you. Sometimes I do still struggle with that performance mentality. But each time when I begin to seek God's presence and just dwell in His love, He reminds me of my identity in Him and His call upon my life. He reminds me that everything must flow out of a personal relationship with Him, and that just refreshes me just as I know that I am fully accepted by Him regardless of how I may have felt along the way. God took me when I was broken, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. He restored me and showed me who I am by removing this false identity and baggage that I have been carrying all my life. He showed me who I am and what I was made for, which is to simply have a relationship with Him. And that is the simplicity of what it means to walk in childlike faith with Him. Nothing else matters, just that relationship with Him. And out of that relationship comes the doing part as I learned how to walk in my authority as a matured son. I hope that my testimony will inspire you to see that God, above all things, He desires for each of us to walk in intimacy, to know Him and to be known by Him. Everything must flow out of a relationship with Him, and I pray that that you will also encounter God in such a deep and relational way, and that you will experience Him for who He is. If He can heal the orphan spirit in me, I'm sure that there is nothing He can't do for you.